morning. I didn't see you there. I heard you're in the market for some affordable watches. Perfect. Well, I've got quite the selection here today, so hopefully we'll be able to find something that'll suit your needs today. Are you looking for something mechanical or quartz? Well, the difference is a mechanical watch utilizes a physical movement with no batteries. However, you might have to wind the watch manually, or it might be powered automatically by the motion of your wrist. However, a quartz watch utilizes a battery for its operation. They're generally more accurate for longer periods of time. However, after a certain amount of time, they will require the battery to be changed. Two of the quartz watches I will be showing you today do need the battery replaced, which will be done on premises before you leave with them today. You're interested in the mechanical watches. I'll show you all of them regardless, since style is sometimes not dictated by mechanical movement. I don't know if I've stated before, but all the watches I will be showing you today are very affordable. None are above, say, $100 or $110. So you have no fear of breaking the bank today. That's not to say they are cheap watches. No, they are all, well, except for one, maybe. They are all very high quality, well put together, and accurate timepieces. Very attractive as well. To start, we have this wonderful homage watch. Both of the mechanical watches I have today are homages, or replicas, or if you're feeling a bit more lowbrow or agitated about the state of the watch, you could call it a knockoff, but nothing about the quality of these watches and the materials used indicates that it is indeed a knockoff watch. This homage here is a homage of the Rolex day date with the presidential band or bracelet. As you can see, it is a yellow gold tone stainless steel with a black enamel face with a starburst pattern. It utilizes real sapphire crystal on the front and rear viewing pieces. It is a 35mm face, and it wears a little bit tall. It is a fully mechanical movement with an automatic feature, as you can tell by this weight that rotates with the movement of your wrist throughout the day. Allow me to demonstrate for a second. As you can see, this model utilizes a full clasp with safeties. But throughout the day, as you move your hand doing things like driving or simply talking to other people, the mere motion of your hand will wind the watch automatically, hence the name an automatic. That's not to say you can't hand wind this watch. You certainly can by unscrewing the crown here. It is a screw down crown with two positions. One position adjusts the day at the 12 o'clock position and the date at the 3 o'clock position. This is done by pulling the crown out to the first detent and twisting in a clockwise motion to adjust the day and a counterclockwise motion to adjust the date. Now, the reason this is called the presidential is because of the bracelet style, utilizing fairly large center links with these other smaller secondary links. These are known as a presidential because they were gifted quite commonly to US presidents. I think Reagan was a famous one that had it. Clinton, I believe, as well. Maybe Trump too. But they've had a long and storied history. As you can see, this one utilizes diamond baguettes for the numerals, all except the 12 o'clock position, which is missing for the day function of the watch. If you'd excuse me a minute. Would you care for a mineral water? No? Okay. As you can see, the hands are all yellow tone or yellow gold tone stainless steel. One unfortunate drawback of this is the readability of the watch. All the hands look fairly similar, especially the minutes and the seconds hand. While stylish, this does have an impact at reading the watch at a simple glance. But this watch also features a hacking feature, where hacking is where you go to adjust the time on a watch by, in this case, pulling the crown out to the second detent. The hands will cease movement. This was particularly useful in military operations, where all watches in a company or squad would be synced to the specific time, so all units could keep an accurate measure of time off the squad leader's watch. It is limited in practical use today. The movement in this is a seagull automatic movement. It is proven reliable and accurate thus far. For $70, this watch could be yours. Now next up is this beautiful Submariner homage. The Rolex Submariner, as you might know, is a very popular dive watch. So popular, in fact, a basic Submariner has a years-long waitlist. But luckily for you today, this homage has no such waitlist. It is again yellow gold tone stainless steel, this time with a oyster style bracelet. Another automatic movement in the back, this time a Seiko NH35. And let me just bring this up here. A beautiful blue brushed metal starburst face. It catches natural sunlight in a wonderful way, as well as a enamel bezel with minimal lume features. These homage watches don't have the best of lume, although not many watches do have a good lume. As you can see, the hands are much more readable, with the seconds hand, minutes hand, and hour hand all having distinct looks to them. This makes it very easy to take in the time at a glance, and it also displays the iconic Mercedes hand, a hallmark of some Rolex watches. Now, just like the presidential day-date model, this one has a 2-position crown. Excuse me a minute. A 2-position crown. As you can see here, it is again a screw-down crown. Both of the homage mechanical watches are water resistant to a depth of 100 meters. It also has a hacking feature and keeps very accurate time, as well as track of the date. One thing to keep in mind about this watch is the fact it wears quite large, has a full overclasp with a safety. As you can see, it is a 40mm watch and wears quite large on the wrist, being thick and having a protruding crown and little protectors for the crown. So for those of us with smaller wrists, this might not be the best of choices. But there are situations where you might deliberately pick to have an oversized wristwatch like this. Some would say it looks ostentatious. I disagree. There's a time and place for everything, the ostentatious included. Now, one key feature about this watch, if I may show you, is the bezel, which rotates, which is where the dive watch gets its name from, as divers used to have mechanical watches as opposed to digital. And this feature was designed to keep track of the remaining oxygen they had in their tanks. This is done by aligning the dot or the arrow with the minute hand of the watch. So, as you can see, the dot or arrow is aligned with the minute hand precisely, and as the hand travels on its own around the face of the watch, you can see it will keep track of minutes designated in increments of 10. So 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 50 minutes, and an hour, all from that start point. So at a glance, just by looking at the watch, you can observe how much time has passed since you have set it. A very useful feature, more useful than you may realize on a daily basis, how many little things you may want to keep track of. And it's all done so very simply and efficiently with a dive style watch. Say, for example, you wanted to set aside 15 or 30 minutes for an activity. Well, simply by setting the bezel and glancing at your watch, every once in a while, like you might normally do, you can just tell very easily how much time has elapsed since setting the watch. Of course, the downside is that you do have to look at the watch. It is not an automatic alarm like you might find on a Casio or your phone if you're some Philistine, but it is a more elegant solution to an ages-old problem. This watch will set you back a whopping $80. I'd say it's a deal. I forgot to mention, or maybe I didn't, I can't quite remember, but this uses genuine sapphire crystal in the front and back. Both of these homage watches are what you may refer to as spec monsters. That is to say, for the price that you're paying for these watches, you're getting a lot of watch. It's like buying a used luxury car, I guess you could say, without having to deal with previous owners' idiosyncrasies. It's like buying a luxury car for the price of a Ford Focus. And now we can move on to the quartz watches. We'll start out with the most affordable watch on the table, a fashion watch. This one happens to be a Bree, but the exact same style of fashion watches can be found drop-shipped to you by various fast fashion brands, the names of which I will omit for legal reasons. But as you can see, it's a very plain, very fashion-forward design. Slim 40mm face with a white face, yellow gold trim on the outside, rose gold trim for the hands, and numerals. Genuine leather strap. And despite being a 40mm face, just like the Submariner clone, it wears a lot smaller on the wrist. This is due to its slim design. It is very modern, very contemporary, and goes well with a variety of outfits, from golf course to gala. As you can see, it does also have a 3 o'clock date window. It claims to be water resistant to 50 meters, though I would not test this. I will let this go for a mind-boggling $15. Now next up is a vintage watch, a all stainless construction on a Jubilee bracelet. It is a Manhattan, a Croatan Manhattan, a quartz model. This, of course, meaning it is battery operated. This is one of the two where the batteries have sadly gone out, waiting for their perfect owner. As you can see, it has stainless steel. The clasp is a basic folding clasp, which you simply press into place. Allow me to demonstrate for you. Of course, we can size these in-house as well. If your wrist happens to be bigger or smaller than mine, we can add or remove links at your leisure. But as you can see, it's a basic folding press fit clasp. It's a very smart looking watch. The right level of innocuity and presentation. It's a very attractive watch once you get closer to it. But at first glance, it's a simple, a very toned down stainless steel watch with a yellowed face. The only bright work is found on the face itself in the form of the numerals and hands, which are finished in yellow gold tone stainless steel, and a small diamond at the 12 o'clock position, as you can see. It wears well. It's a light watch. It's very thin, 35mm face, and is a perfect gift for Father's Day or even Mother's Day, as this watch may be considered to be unisex. It also features hacking, despite it being a quartz watch. And all things considered, I will let it go for a whopping $35. It is one of my personal favorites, as it can be dressed up or dressed down at any time. Can be utilized for a multitude of functions or events, such as weddings or even just a dinner date. It will never make you look any way besides the way you choose to present yourself to the world. Unfortunately, it does not have any day or date function. It does, however, have an interesting feature, which allow me to try to show you. As you can see on the rim of the face, there is some yellow gold. And when this yellow gold catches the sunlight coming into it, it creates a wonderful glow to the watch in direct light. Fluorescent, as well as preferably direct sunlight. This also translates to the bracelet, with all these small little holes being able to catch sunlight and reflect them off of your skin tone through the bracelet. This is a very interesting visual feature, one that I was pleasantly surprised to find out. And now on to my personal favorite, and for a long time, my daily wear watch. This is a Seiko, a vintage Seiko from the 80s with a day and a date function. It comes on a comfort band with a 34.5mm face. As you can see, all you do is slip the watch onto your wrist like so, and it stays there quite comfortably, hence the name Comfort Band. But as you can see, it wears very thin, very slim. It's perfect to wear with active wear up to a suit or anything with a particularly tight cuff that may impinge on a watch you are wearing, since this is a razor thin watch. As you can see, it's finished in yellow gold tone stainless steel, top to bottom, hands to bracelet. Everything is yellow gold tone, including the face, which I believe is just a piece of metal. But this one as well has a hacking function. And like I mentioned previously, the day date feature. It is a timeless design, one that I've gotten many compliments on in the past, and I hope to pass this benefit on to you soon. Hopefully you share the same interest in this timepiece that I do, and to be perfectly honest, I've worn it for so long that I'm not too sure what I'll wear next. So, allow me to go through the selections once again, and then allow you to make a decision. So, to start, we had the Rolex Day Date Homage on the presidential bracelet with the diamond baguettes and the black enamel face. A genuine sapphire front and back with a seagull automatic movement. And then we have the Submariner homage with the oyster bracelet, date feature, Rolex hour hand, minimal lume, Submariner bezel or dive watch bezel, and a Seiko NH35 automatic movement powering it, as well as a wonderful polished blue metal face with a starburst pattern. And then our humble Bree fashion watch, slim 40mm face, yellow and rose gold accents, genuine leather strap, quartz movement, and date feature at the 3 o'clock position. And then moving along to the humble Manhattan, another one of my favorites, with the Jubilee bracelet, quartz movement, and shocking light catching capabilities. It really is one of my favorites. And then last but certainly not least, the Seiko from the 80s on the comfort band with a day and date feature, quartz movement, and yellow gold tone stainless steel, which I neglected to mention the price on because I am reluctant to sell it. I will let it go for $100. Now, have you made a selection? Oh, perfect. Glad to hear. I'll box those up, adjust the bands and bracelets, and we'll be on our way. I hope to see you again soon, right this way.